This is the year you move. This is the year you take that next step. Whether you're starting out, starting over, or starting something new, you need a local moving company that you can trust. We're Mankato Movers. We're your hometown moving resource, and we'll get you there. Call or email about our pre-move service today.
Good afternoon, everybody. Jay here with the next episode of I.C.E. I.C.E. stands for Inspire, Collaborate, and Encourage, and is our collaborative podcast we produce weekly. Each podcast is typically hosted live, but we also have available for replay on our I.C.E. Facebook page and our I.C.E. YouTube channel. Each week, we interview a guest or guests that we felt had an interesting story to tell about our three key words: inspire, collaborate, and encourage. In 2020, we found comfort and knowledge, both personally and professionally, from the podcasts of others. The podcasts we watched were from others in our industry or business coach style individuals, but also from general people that had just had a positive outlook on not only business, but life in general. We are excited to bring this to you each week at 4 p.m. on Thursdays. We also have the ability in many of the presentations for you, the viewers, to ask questions of our guests live like we are today. Just fire away your questions when you have a chance. Let us meet today's guest. When I said inspired by others, this is one of our guys. Today's guest, Tanya and I, met this past year through a variety of topics in our decorated apparel industry. Mr. Aaron Montgomery is a business consultant in the industry, as well as involved in several podcasts. A perpetual entrepreneur, a father, a husband, and an all-around great guy. He's a young dinosaur in our industry, meaning that he's been around a long time, but yet he's still young after getting an early start in the industry. Let us welcome Aaron. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, Jay. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you letting me come join you on this. This is really cool. I've been inspired watching you guys grow this. So thanks a lot.
Well, you're definitely one of the people that inspired us to even do this. So we enjoyed listening to your podcast through either Two Regular Guys or through the OSG stuff, and so you were one of the guys that was like, okay, we can't do another one about something in the industry because that just doesn't really make sense. There's already enough of them out there. Let's do something a little different. So thank you for your leadership. As I said before we started, you're like Yoda, and I'm Luke Skywalker, and Tanya's Princess Leia, I guess.
That's right. So. That's right. And then, as I mentioned, you're just making me feel old. So I turned 46 on Sunday. So this whole young dinosaur thing, I think you can just drop the young part and call me a dinosaur, and we'll be good.
I was saving dinosaur eventually for Terry Combs. That's why I was saving dinosaur, good. and he'd be like a fossilized dinosaur.
Exactly. That's a good call. Yeah, there we go.
He's like Weekend at Bernie's. We prop him up and we'll move his lips so he talks.
Get the sunglasses, and yeah, it'll be perfect. I love it. And we're going to have to do that on Two Regular Guys too.
All right, let us start off a little bit about you, Aaron, so that our audience can learn about you. Tell us about your businesses and your profession.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. My business, my job, my profession is to provide resources that empower small businesses to achieve their idea of success. So that manifests itself in several different ways. We've already brought up Two Regular Guys. So it's a podcast that Terry Combs and I started 8 years ago. So that's one resource that I have out there. I've been doing consulting through MontCo Consulting for about 4 years full time now. And then our success group, OSG, which you mentioned, that is just got kicked off this year and has been a fantastic training opportunity for everybody. It's a really awesome community of people that get to come together and work on our businesses. And so that's my job. That's my profession.
Awesome. And has this been, I remember in our pre-interview questions, you had shared that you were originally going to be a car salesman, right? Wasn't that what it was?
when I was a kid, yeah, you know how everybody has those dreams growing up of, hey, I'm going to be an astronaut, I'm going to be a fireman, and all that stuff. For some reason, I decided I was going to be a car salesman. There was a car dealership in a little town I grew up in northern Arizona. The guy that owned it was named Ted Lamb, and I wanted to be him. for whatever reason. I have no idea why. And
he must have had good commercials or something.
He did. Yeah. As I got older, the story about Ted Lamb was if he had one hand on your shoulder, he had the other hand on your wallet. So
on your wallet. Well, you're the first person I've ever met that said that they wanted to be a car salesman when they grew up. That's good. It's kind of like from Deeds. The movie Deeds or Mr. Deeds, when the guy goes, I want to be a butcher. It's like, okay, that I don't hear a lot of people saying that, but I mean, it is a good profession. So
yeah, totally.
If we all were a fly in the wall, what are we going to hear as the day goes by in your shoes, or in the parts of your day that you would find either more inspiring to you professionally or encouraging to find ways to invent yourself for your business?
Yeah. Well, Jay, here's the interesting part. If you asked me this question last year, it'd probably be a lot different. As everybody, you guys included, we're pivoting. That's what a day in the shoes of a normal small business owner looks like right now is the pivoting. So over the last few months, I've worked with my wife we've imported some face masks because the consulting clients that I worked with said they couldn't find the ones that they wanted. And I had some contacts. My wife's business is called weheart.biz, and she's working on growing her personalized products and selling that. So I kind of support her within that. Because we, just didn't have enough on our plate, we decided, what the heck, let's buy a DTG machine too. So again, never really wanting to get into the decorating business myself, but the opportunities were there to support others. And so it inspired me to, get my hands dirtier and get into it a little bit more. So we set up MontCo.biz to try to help support people from a wholesale aspect. But really my main daily goal, my job that I wake up for every morning and can't wait to do is our success group. So we are a community of small businesses. It's a membership program where there's training every other month, or not every other month, every other week at least. And we're just working on sharing the information that I've been able to gather. We just opened up open enrollment for a new mastermind segment of that particular business. And so we're just trying to find ways to support people, to help them with accountability, to help them with the things that they struggle with. We have a success tracker program, which has been really inspiring to me because it's so cool to get to see people reaching for something more. In fact, some of the conversations I've been able to have with folks have been, I listed this goal, but when I listed this goal, I didn't think I could get to it.
Right.
But I feel myself getting there every day. And now,
now you got to move the goal.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah. And it's so cool to be able to see that, people doing more than they thought that they could do just because they took a second to actually believe in themselves for a little bit. So that's kind of a day in my shoes, just kind of working on that, working with people, trying to build that. And, lots of sharing, and it's been awesome getting to know people like you and Tanya and all the other people out there in the industry even more. We thought COVID was going to be this thing where we actually interacted less, but I kind of feel like a lot of times I get to interact even more, opportunities like this. So anyhow, that's the day in the shoes.
Feel the same way. I think I think we've been able to forge some new friendships from, not only COVID, but also my heart attack too, for the first couple months of the year. And that's really allowed us to expand our network of people and friends and things like that too. Who has been a big inspiration in your life personally and professionally?
Yeah. When you had this question for me, I was like looking at this going, this feels like a trap. This feels like if I don't list everybody, I'm going to, one of those things, you win the Academy Award or whatever. But, I there's a lot of people, so I'm going to try to condense this down. My family, my parents were wonderful and are wonderful. I'm fortunate enough to have both my parents with me still. Wonderful influences on me. I have a younger brother who's about 3 years younger, and he's one of the most amazing fathers I've ever met. So I take a lot of inspiration from him. I have my own 2 sons, and they really kind of inspire me daily. The reason to get up. My youngest, who just turned 9 back in May, reminds me of kind of what's important. So certain things kind of get me down, and he's like, what, Dad? Who cares? And I'm like, oh yeah, you're kind of right. So and he helps me kind of realize that you can have an imagination. You can, I don't have to go, oh, I can't do that kind of thing. So he inspires me. My oldest son, who's 21 now, he's got autism, and he is an amazing inspiration to me. He's only he graduated from high school already, and now he's actually going to college as an autistic student, working on his own comic book line right now. Just for somebody who's could have had situations that he couldn't deal with, he chose to go ahead and face those things and go forward, and never once complained, had fits. Just incredible young man. So really inspired by him. I kind of then reach into the outside world a little bit here, some external folks that I've learned from. Some people that might know me know that I'm just about wrapping up a Success Principles certification. So the Success Principles is a book by a gentleman named Jack Canfield, who people might know him more from his series of books called Chicken Soup for the Soul. Mm-hmm. But he's got another book called Success Principles, and I'm actually becoming a trainer in the Success Principles. So he's been a huge influence. That has been just an incredible program to go through, and been a great influence on me. You got other people in the marketing world that I look up to, like Jay Baer, Seth Godin. And then you got to get into our industry folks. We've already joked a little bit about Terry Combs, but Terry's always been a huge inspiration to me. Greg Kitson at Mind's Eye Graphics. If you've never met Greg, he's somebody worth getting to know. Wonderful gentleman. Scott Fresner was my entry into the industry, so has always been a huge supporter of mine, and somebody I truly love. And got people like Lon Winters. So I'm going to miss a ton of people. Eric Campbell keeps the two regular guys going in the background. So there's again trying to cover everybody, but the number one most important is my wife, Kylene.
There you go. I was you're gonna scared there. You're gonna forget that one.
No, I fortunately I did not forget. She's the kindest, most caring person that I've ever met, and really, no matter how big of a jerk I've been, she still loves and supports me. So I don't know if she needs to be checked out or what, but she's pretty inspirational to me.
Yeah, you probably better get her into the doctor.
Exactly. She puts up with some stuff.
Well, on that topic, that kind of leads us into the next question. But we both have a unique situation where we work closely and daily with our wives. Mm-hmm. Which many people, I'm sure to you as well, they comment to us that they cannot believe that we're able to do that. Oh, I'd never be able to do that. Oh, I can't stand being around him all day. Yeah. What lessons have you learned from Kylene indirectly in life and directly in work?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I'm sure more people are probably looking to our wives, going, "Why do you do this?" But especially for me. Kylene's an interesting person in that no matter what, she leads with joy and happiness. It's sometimes a little annoying, honestly, but honestly though, no matter how much of a dark cloud I might be some days, she's always encouraging me to be positive, celebrate my successes. So my personality is kind of shaped by my desire to make an impact, and I also have this extremely competitive nature that has been cultivated over the years. So one of the things that happens is I'm rarely satisfied with the results. No matter how good things go, I always find a way to pick on something, which is silly. And I realize that when I step back and think about it, but in the moment, I'm kind of looking for that instant gratification. So She's really helped me kind of look for light in the darkness, those kinds of things. Just kind of understanding why, the things that we do on a daily basis are great and we're pushing forward. But if you don't stop to, smell the roses and celebrate a little bit, it just doesn't have that same feeling. So when I can add that piece to my life where, I'm working towards bettering myself, but at the same time realizing, going, you know what, that was pretty cool. That actually, is worth taking a second and going, all right, good job. Right. And, so she kind of inspires me to be a better human being in the long run. And so just keep working on that and kind of remembering those things, and always looking for the silver lining.
And I think that people like yourself and myself and,
Mm-hmm.
and Tanya, Colleen, and a lot of the others that we know, we're, loosely termed workaholics.
Yep. Yep.
We're always looking for perfection. We're always trying to tweak it and make it better. And we unfortunately have to sometimes have somebody just hit us with a ton of bricks,
Yeah.
whether it's somebody we know or the good Lord himself,
Sure.
to get us to slow down and realize what you were saying. You got to enjoy life a little bit too, and not make it all about work and kids and family and friends and things like that.
Sure.
So, give us something you feel most grateful in life for.
I think the opportunity to be a father. As much as I'm grateful for my relationship with Kylene, having the two sons in my life is just incredible. I'm really super fortunate and grateful that I come from a kind of a lineage of really good fathers. My dad's an amazing guy. As I mentioned, my brother is an amazing dad. Both my grandparents, on both sides, just were the most amazing father figures. And so, I kind of feel like I have to really step up my game, but I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to be part of that. I'm grateful to have an opportunity to try to pass some things along to my sons. And, so I don't know, for the folks out there that have kids, that I imagine they understand, but it's just that internal going, wow, somebody was willing to trust me with another life. And what are we going to do about that? And that's something to be really grateful for in my book.
Great answer. In getting to know you better and better, I've learned that you are constantly in motion to better yourself and others around you. What are some of those important lessons that you've learned in life, either through self-teaching or through collaboration with others?
Yeah, this is interesting because when you're younger, you kind of go, oh, hear all these, cliches and quotes and different stuff. And I always thought, oh, geez, that's silly. But the older I get, the more I find myself kind of collecting these quotes. One of the things my dad used to always say to me is it's not what you know, but rather who you know. So meaning that the relationships that you're able to build with other people far outweigh any, book smart lesson you could get or anything like that. Being able to sit and chat and talk to people like yourself and all the people I get to interact with, that's the important thing. That's the lessons, and then another quote that I really love, and I probably share this every day, so I'm sure people have heard this out of me before, but it's from Michelangelo, famous painter, sculptor, gentleman, as we probably know.
the before modern age graphic designer.
Correct. Yeah, he'll laying on his. Yeah. Anyhow, so he said, at least from everything I can find, this was attributed to him. The greatest danger for most of us lies in not setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. And to me, that just really resonates because, as you mentioned, people like you and I, we are rarely satisfied. So we're always reaching for more, trying to do more. And we shouldn't look at that as a negative. I think we should celebrate that fact. Again, be able to stop and smell the roses in a sense that, yes, we need to celebrate the things that we have done. But why stop there? Why not keep going? Why not do more? Why not dream big? What's the worst that's going to happen? You don't make it, but yet you're still probably further along than if you didn't dream big. So those are the things that stand out to me.
I'm gonna have to find a way to isolate that part where it's like, it's okay to be upset with others at this point when we're perfectionists, kind of a thing. And then maybe I can explain to Tanya and Courtney that's why I get upset with some of our suppliers sometimes. But
that'll happen. And again, it's just one of those things that it is important to strive for more, but it's just finding a balance, I think, and I don't always do a good job with that.
All right. Before we get to our speed round of questions, let's hear real quick here from a couple of our sponsors. Yes, Tanya. The Wow Zone Family Entertainment Center, located in Mankato, Minnesota, has 24 state-of-the-art bowling lanes, a 2-level laser tag arena, mini golf, video games, snack bar, sports bar, and a restaurant. Bring a few, bring them all. The Wow Zone can fit them all. River Valley Dental, located in Mankato, Minnesota, provides its patients with the most current treatment using the latest dental technology. Dr. Tom Pooley, DDS, and his team at River Valley Dental offer a variety of general dental care. You're never just another set of teeth to us. You're a face with a name and history, and it is our privilege to serve you and guide you to your dental goals. And Gracie B. Doodle is a new up-and-coming online store and social media group for the decorated apparel, design, and sublimation sector. From digital papers to sublimation blanks and more, Gracie B. Doodle is a great resource for the crafters or the professional shops. Online at www.graciebdoodle.company.site. All right, we're back with Aaron Montgomery here from MontCo.biz and our Access Group. Here is one of my favorite parts of doing these interviews. I call it the Mankato Movers Speed Round, the Blue Crew, whose motto is "We'll get you there." So here we go. Fast ones, quick hitter.
All right.
Embroidery or screen printing?
All right, don't get mad at me. Neither.
Okay.
Screen printing is too messy for me, and I don't understand embroidery. So
Okay,
I'm a sublimation guy. How about that?
Terry and Eric are not buying you drinks the next time you get together. Promotional products or direct-to-garment printing?
Direct-to-garment.
Okay. Cardinals or Cubs?
Easy, Cardinals.
Football or basketball?
Basketball.
Fireball or beer?
Beer.
Dad jokes or knock-knock jokes?
Dad jokes.
I heard something about that too. Hard court or beach volleyball?
Any volleyball. I'm a volleyball nut through and through, all of it.
But you don't have a preference over one or the other?
If somebody puts a volleyball in front of me, I'll play it wherever.
How about volleyball or horseshoes?
Volleyball. It's actually where I learned how to play volleyball.
I was hoping that you knew what it was, but I thought, oh, that might be the trick one that trips them up.
Yeah.
And Todd's cooking or Kylene's?
Ooh, this is also another one where I have to cheat. I've not had Todd's cooking yet, and don't tell Kylene, but yeah, my cooking. Sorry, Todd. Once I have Todd, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I mean, Todd's. I don't know how many of us really had Todd's cooking, but the pictures he puts up are pretty amazing. So
it looks good, but I'm not. Yeah. I'm gonna wait until I taste it. It's me.
He could make food for the restaurants for them to snake their little snapshots to put on their restaurant.
Totally. Yep, that'd be perfect.
All right, great job. Let's get back to the questions here. At this point in life, how are things different now than you had imagined?
Well,
obviously you're not selling Fords and Dodges.
Correct.
And Chevys, but
yeah. And I think that's the biggest part is, again, I had this dream that I was going to be a car salesman, and I got into sales in my 20s, and the funny part was I realized I was horrible at it. I really was. I just cold calling was not my thing. I just hesitated to ask for the sale. All of the sales 101 stuff that I should have, really rocked at. I was terrible at it. So what happened though is I learned through that quote from my dad about, it's more about who you know than what you know, that actually by having the right relationships, I could still sell and not be a salesman. I became a solution provider, and that has led me down all sorts of different paths, into marketing. I've done all sorts of different things in this industry. And it's been cool. And never once has it been the traditional, either sales or traditional marketing or anything like that. It's always been about the relationships.
As a very unselfish person, this one sometimes trips people up. How would you like to be remembered both personally and professionally?
Yeah, as you said, that is a hard one. I mentioned that one of my things that I'm all about is to have significance and my competitiveness and all that other stuff. So I do want to be remembered as somebody that made a significant impact, but not in a sense like, I want my name on a wall or on a statue or something like that. Just knowing that, at the very least, I helped my kids grow and then helped other people grow. I think that's the way I'd like to be remembered, as somebody that just, I think a lot of times people kind of come across me and they don't know what to make of me, because I have learned that I can't.
Well, you are a dinosaur. Remember that. So
I'm a dinosaur.
I've ever seen a dinosaur.
Yeah, totally. And so when you're looking at a dinosaur here, I've learned that I can't outgive the universe. Meaning, so I kind of go into things with, okay, what can I do for you? And people are going, wait a second, what's the catch? And so to me, that's what it's all about. If I can support other people, I found it that my life is amazing. And so I guess that's what I would want to be remembered for. Is I love being the guy in the background. I love being the supporting cast. I love being a little bit part of other people's success. And so I think that's it for me.
Were you ever, this is not one of our normal questions, were you ever in drama in high school?
I was not, which is interesting because as much time as I do spend in front of the camera now, it's pretty wild because I was terrible at that kind of thing. I was super shy. Until college, I couldn't speak in front of anybody. I mean, I would just like, I was an altar boy at church and they wanted me to read the message one time and I just about fainted.
I did faint once
there you go.
Yeah, I fainted once. Boom, down, woke up. I'm sitting in the pew next to my mom. I'm like, what's going on?
What happened here? Yeah. Oh man.
Well, the reason I asked the drama question is because in your reference to like being the guy in the background, I learned very on when I was still a boy before I was even a teenager that the acting part of it just really wasn't my forte. But man, I loved being the stage manager, the light guy, the audio guy, the spotlight guy. That was my gig. And so I was happy, feeling like the play ain't going to start unless somebody turns the lights on. So it's, and having that kind of control, a little bit. So I always enjoyed the backseat kind of things as well.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What does the future for you look like at the ground level and then at like the 20,000 foot level?
Well, if things kind of go as planned, the growth of our success group to help small businesses in our industry and beyond is what I'm looking for there. I don't know what. That's the interesting part. I have this goal. I have these things that we want to reach for, but how we're going to get there, I really have no clue. So I'm really just trying to take it bit by bit. And, if something fits, then we go for it. If something doesn't fit, then we kind of push it off to the side. How that's going to manifest itself down the road, though, I really don't know, which is interesting. Somebody that's as big a planner as I am, it drives me nuts to not know. But the more I can let go of that stuff, the more I can, just allow it to come to me and allow things to work out the way they're supposed to.
And the planner thing, my previous career before we got into this was a paramedic, and I used to have my schedule planned out like 12 months ahead of time. And the people that I work with are like, how the hell do you know what you're going to be doing? I'm like, because my calendar says that this is what I'm doing on that day. And it's probably not going to change between now and next, June kind of a deal. So, we get along that way. That's another thing that is good about it. Besides the daily collaboration with Kylene in family life and work, tell us about some of the other collaborative people that you work with.
Well, we've already talked about a couple of them, but I'll bring them up again. Interestingly enough, I again, like I said, that whole backseat thing for me, I wasn't in drama, but I look at, people like, Steve Jobs had to have Wozniacki or whatever his name was. I think I'm getting that wrong, but that's, I think that's my part. I'm not the Steve Jobs, I'm the other person. So I've got a lot of people that fill that role a bit for me, though. You got Terry Combs, and he and I have built two regular guys together, and that's been really cool. Todd Downing is the co-founder with me at our success group, and then the stuff that I do with my wife. But collaboration in general, it's my thing. It's my jam. It's just
Well, when you're consulting, it's almost like those two words are just absolutely synonymous. When you're consulting for other people for their businesses, I mean, you have to collaborate, and you hope that you're collaborating and not just you spilling your beans and them either tuning you out or taking every word literally to the T.
Sure.
Because that's not always good either. I mean, collaboration is a discussion where you can bounce ideas and then, hopefully choose the best one or go down the right path rather than getting mad and saying, "Oh, I'm never talking to him again," or "I did everything he said and we still failed," or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Everybody's got to do things their own way, but but in general though, if we can all work on collaborating more, it comes from having an abundance mentality, meaning we have to realize that there's plenty to go around. Yes, we want to, I'm competitive. I want to get what I can get and do all that. But at the same time, the pace of today's world and the way things change and happen, it's impossible. I don't care if you're a single person, small business owner, if you're not collaborating in some way, shape, or form as much as possible, you're not going to make it. It's not possible in today's world. So collaboration at whatever level is comfortable for you, open that up more, do things like this, get involved, have another podcast. I remember one of the things somebody asked me when COVID first hit and people started, it just seemed like all of a sudden everybody had a podcast, and somebody said, "Well, does that make you mad? You've been doing this for 8 years now." And I'm like, "No, it's awesome. I love every bit of it because it just means more people are getting out there. There's more information. It's the best thing ever." And so hopefully other people can have that mindset.
Let's see here. We got a couple comments here. We have one from Mr. Todd Downing. Says Aaron Montgomery seems like a pretty cool guy.
I'll pay you $20 later, Todd.
and then he's a little upset that you went with the Cubs and Fireball instead of or that you went with Cardinals and beer instead of Cubs and Fireball. So he's dead to you now, I guess.
Yeah,
or you're dead to him. And the one that I like the best is the next trade show we go to. I get to see about a cookout. So I'm going to have to find out what that trade show is so that we can come and enjoy the food.
Exactly. So, I think that, in fact, let's screen capture that and pin it up there and talk.
Oh, it's on YouTube. It's there forever now.
Yep. So now it's out in the world. Let's make it happen.
That's why I got it up on the live here, so that way it's there. We don't have to screen capture it. It's
there we go. So. Perfect.
40 years from now, when someone for the first time picks up one of your son's comic books titled MontCo's Adventures, what are they going to learn about the lead character, Aaron, that will be words of wisdom your son learned from you that he felt so inspired to add it to his comic?
That's an interesting one. Now, I do have to just correct you here real quick. You said Aaron. I am actually in his comic book. He told me this, and it was one of the proudest moments of my life. In fact, I've got a shirt of the character. My comic book name is Owl Knight, and I'm a businessman by day and renegade crime fighter by night. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, Owl Knight. But
so does that mean we can walk around now and start calling you Hootie Hoo?
That works for me. That'll make me super proud. I printed a shirt, so that's the cool part about having DTG. I could just do that.
Is he actually published yet, or just still kind of in the works? It's
still kind of in the works. He'll share a few things on Facebook, and he's going to school for graphic design stuff right now, and so part of the project is he keeps building these different characters. But he also enjoys getting in and putting a story around the character too, not just the drawing of it, but they've got a whole backstory. And, so the Owl Knight character is loosely based on me, but there's some things in it that I'm like, that's not me. But that's you can tell that he kind of takes bits and pieces from his whole world and puts them
Owl
together.
Knight's a millionaire. They're not talking about me.
Yeah. That must be an uncle I don't know about her. Yeah. But cool. The words of inspiration, I think, just that opportunity the more you fail, the better you're going to be. And that's what I hope that my sons are able to take from me, is that failure is a good thing. And failure is something that we should strive to do more of, because the more we fail, the more we learn. And as long as we're learning from that, then we should celebrate our failures. And it's also, again, one of the reasons why I want to make sure that I'm passing that along to my kids is because that also helps me, because I need to remind myself of those things too. So, if things don't go well, that's not a bad thing. We should take that as an opportunity to go, yep, okay, now I know why. Now let's do this differently. And then now you got a plan next time. So,
right.
That's what I'm hoping that they take from me.
Good. I usually try to end my interviews with a lighthearted question, and I started this last week calling it "Would You Rather." So this is kind of how I'm going to start wrapping up my interviews. When Tanya does hers, she can wrap them up her way. But so would you rather speak at an in-person trade show or a virtual trade show?
I'd rather. It's harder to speak at an in-person trade show. To me, it's more nerve-wracking for me, but at the same time, I'd rather do that, because that also means that there is that opportunity to actually really connect with somebody, to have a conversation afterwards and things like that. And I truly miss that about the fact that we haven't been able to go to trade shows lately.
Yeah, and I asked that one specifically because I knew that's how you would answer it, because I'm the same way. It's like I would want that interpersonal reaction with people that I'm meeting. But yet I find it easier to talk like this than I do standing up in front of a group of people. I mean, I can stand up in front of a group of people. You can too. Sure. But I certainly feel more comfortable this way, hoping that millions are tuning in or something like that.
Exactly.
All right. Would you rather take the Two Regular Guys podcast to a higher level of exposure or expand your wholesale side of business?
Two Regular Guys podcast. The wholesale side was just something to support. So whatever it does, it does. The sharing of the information is what's on my goal list.
I'm sure Terry will appreciate that. Would you rather roll out more content for your masterclass series or have your wife hit the business jackpot and allow you to retire?
Yeah, that one, it's interesting because I don't think I'll ever retire. So that's a hard question, because I want her to hit the business jackpot. But if she does that, I think what'll happen is I'll just be able to do more. I'll probably give away stuff. Todd doesn't want to hear this, but we'll probably just give away stuff. I don't know.
You can get the 2 DTG machines or like a whole fleet of them or something.
Yeah. And we'll just, like Oprah, you get a car, you get a DTG.
All right. And last one, would you rather go bowling on a date with Kylene or bar hopping with Terry Combs?
You're really trying to get me in trouble, I think is what's happening. No, bowling with Kylene. That's how I met my wife, was at a bowling alley. So that's great. Bar hopping with Terry is certainly plenty of fun, but I had plenty of time to do that in my previous life. So,
well, if you can hit the business jackpot thing, then you can do the bar hopping with Terry whenever you want. And,
exactly.
And make the bowling with Kylene to be the special thing.
That's right. That's right.
Now, we alluded to it earlier. Do you have a dad joke you can share with us?
Probably so. Trying to think of some ones that we've had on the Two Regular Guys, or another one that we can share. Not that it's not good for public consumption, but just if I've already shared it, I want to do a new one here. So how about this one? What is a pirate's favorite kind of sock? Any idea?
Well, some pirates only have one sock because they have a peg leg.
No, not down that route.
Not that route. Okay. They're not necessarily holy, so we can't say a holy sock.
No, not a holy sock. It'll be a groaner once you're.
I don't know. I give up.
You give up. So it's Argyle.
Oh man, that is bad. That is
okay.
That
yep.
Is bad.
I told you to be a groaner.
All right. Well, Aaron, it has been truly a pleasure for both Tanya and I to get to know you this past year. You've been beyond helpful to us both personally and professionally. You were part of our inspiration, as we talked about earlier, in doing this podcast, and we look forward to continuing our friendship for many years to come.
Thank you so much. I really am truly honored to be here, and what you guys are doing is really special, and getting to know you and Tanya has also been very special for me, and I'm glad things are moving forward here.
All right. Well, say hi to Kylene for us, and we're going to sign off with Owl Night here. So thanks again for being with us today, Aaron.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Next week on the show, we will have Tina McLean joining us. Tina is a certified life coach, diet and wellness coach, and owns her own business called Inspire Health and Wellness, or Inspire Health and Wellness. Sorry, I used our own name in that one. Tanya and Tina will cover life, nutrition, and the balance of that with being female executives in their own business. We would like to thank our sponsors for today's episode, the Visual Identity Vault, located in the heart of historic downtown Fairmont. TVIV is a full-service decorated apparel provider with screen printing, embroidery, sublimation, and more. Also offered are signs, banners, design services, paper-printed products, promotional items, and custom gifts. 4,000 plus feet of retail space with great deals for everyone, young to old. TVIV also offers a variety of different fundraising opportunities for your groups needing to earn some extra cash for that special trip. Contact TVIV today at sales@tvivmn.com or online www.tvivmn.com. Gemini Studios is the leading video production company in southern Minnesota, based out of downtown Fairmont, Minnesota. Gemini Studios offers many services such as VHS to DVD transfers, picture scanning to CD, advertising, commercials, voiceover recording, educational and informational videos, and live streaming of special and school events. If interested in any of their services, please give them a call at 507-235-5190. And last, are you looking to travel either domestically or internationally? Call Jana Hughes at Travelooza to book your next vacation. From weekends to resorts or cruises, Jana and her team are ready and waiting to get you back on your feet and headed for the sun and sand. Call 1-888-689-0660. That wraps things up for today. On behalf of both Tanya and I would like to thank you, the viewers who tuned in to check out this ICE thing. And we hope that you found the message of inspiration, collaboration, and encouragement to be useful in your personal and professional lives each day. Thanks a lot and have a great day.